Stand up for a moment. Go ahead, I'll wait right here for you. Did you notice how your legs responded? How your balance shifted slightly, and even how your heart rate adjusted to this very basic movement? It's truly remarkable, isn't it? Most people move through their daily lives without ever pausing to consider how the ordinary foods they eat, day after day, quietly affect their blood pressure levels. Surprisingly, one of the biggest hidden culprits is likely already in your kitchen cabinet or sitting in your refrigerator right now, something you probably consume on a regular basis without giving it much thought at all. I'm Doctor, and for more than 20 years, I've worked with thousands of adults, particularly those over the age of 60, who felt deeply frustrated by persistent, difficult-to-manage blood pressure numbers. These were individuals who were already putting in a lot of good effort. They walked regularly, they took their prescribed medications exactly as directed, and they steered clear of the obvious unhealthy junk foods that everyone talks about avoiding. Yet, in spite of all those positive steps, their readings continued to creep higher and higher, leaving them feeling discouraged. High blood pressure rarely appears suddenly or out of the blue. Instead, it develops slowly and progressively, fueled by small, everyday foods that slip into your routine almost unnoticed. These foods seem completely innocent when you're eating them. They don't trigger any dramatic or immediate symptoms, but over the course of weeks, months, and even years, they gradually drive your blood pressure numbers upward in a steady, persistent way. Over the next 23 minutes or so, I'm going to guide you step by step through my 5-step FRESH protocol. This straightforward and practical method is carefully designed to help you regain control over your blood pressure. The approach is backed by solid evidence from respected sources, including research from the American Heart Association, Harvard Medical School, and numerous other peer-reviewed studies that have appeared in leading medical journals. To help make this discussion feel more personal and relevant to your own situation, I'd love for you to drop your age in the comments section below. Your age has a significant influence on the way your body reacts to these common, everyday foods. By the time we've finished this conversation, you'll walk away with a much clearer picture of which hidden foods could be contributing to your elevated blood pressure at this very moment, why these particular foods often have a stronger effect on adults over 60, and, most importantly, some realistic, doable steps you can start taking to lessen their impact without being forced to completely abandon the foods you genuinely love. Let's begin with one of the most frequent hidden offenders: sodium. Consider sodium and the way it causes water retention in a very simple, easy-to-grasp manner. Imagine a garden hose. Think of your arteries as those flexible tubes, with your blood moving through them much like water flows through the hose. When you consume too much salt, your body instinctively holds on to additional water to help dilute that sodium concentration. All that extra water builds up pressure inside those arterial hoses. Over time, this constant added pressure starts to harm the delicate inner walls of your arteries, making them stiffer and far less flexible than they should be. On top of that, sodium also instructs your kidneys to retain even more water, which increases your total blood volume and places greater overall strain on your cardiovascular system. Harvard researchers carried out a detailed study in which they followed 1-200 adults over a period of 5 full years. What they found was eye-opening. People who took in more than 200 to 300 milligallons of sodium per day had a 38% increased risk of developing hypertension compared to those who limited their daily intake to under 1,500 milligallons. Many individuals tell themselves, "I don't use that much salt. I barely sprinkle any on my meals." But the reality is that sodium conceals itself in numerous unexpected places. Processed meats such as deli slices and bacon, canned soups, prepared sauces, various condiments, and even routine salad dressings. A single serving of any of these might appear modest, but when you tally them across an entire day and then across the full week, the cumulative amount builds up far more than most people expect. If you've ever experienced noticeable swelling in your ankles or seen surprising spikes in your home blood pressure checks, sodium is very likely playing a significant part. If this scenario feels all too familiar to your own experience, please type the word sodium in the comments below. It's crucial to recognize, however, that not every food contributing to higher blood pressure is necessarily packed with salt. Another important category to keep an eye on is refined carbohydrates, including items like white bread, pastries, cakes, cookies, and sugary sodas. These foods behave like sudden sugar bombs once they enter your system. They trigger a sharp and rapid increase in blood sugar, prompting a substantial release of insulin. When this pattern continues over the long haul, persistently high insulin levels lead to hardening of the arteries and encourage the body to retain extra fluid, both effects that drive blood pressure upward. At Johns Hopkins, researchers tracked 850 adults across a full decade and uncovered a striking result. Participants who consumed the largest quantities of refined carbohydrates developed 52% greater arterial stiffness than those who primarily chose whole grains. As we age, the endothelium, the thin inner lining inside our arteries, naturally loses much of its elasticity. You can compare it to an old rubber band that has become brittle and far less pliable after years of stretching and exposure. When arterial flexibility diminishes, even relatively small increases in blood volume or brief episodes of sugar-related stress can produce noticeable elevations in blood pressure. For adults over 60, endothelial function typically declines by 30 to 40% compared to younger individuals. Combine that age-related decline with additional sodium intake or excessive refined carbs and sugars, and your blood vessels face a much tougher challenge in handling the daily load. Additional items that frequently get overlooked but add to the issue include commercial salad dressings, pickled products, many frozen prepared dinners, and certain varieties of cheese. These foods often bundle high sodium, added sugars, and unhealthy fats together in a single item. On their own, each might seem trivial and unimportant, but when they stack up day after day, it's comparable to walking around with tiny pebbles in your shoes. You barely feel them initially, yet eventually every step becomes noticeably uncomfortable. Researchers at UCLA examined 600 older adults and found that those consuming 2 to 3 servings of processed foods daily had systolic blood pressure readings that averaged 25% higher than the group who mostly ate fresh, minimally processed meals. The key insight here is that your body isn't abruptly failing you out of nowhere. Rather, these small, repeated daily habits are silently accumulating pressure over an extended time frame. The single most effective initial step is simply raising your awareness of them. Pause for a second right now and reflect. How many of these kinds of foods regularly appear in your daily eating patterns without you truly registering them? Please share your honest estimate in the comments below. Allow me to offer a couple of real-world examples to bring this home. Consider Mary, a 68-year-old woman who sincerely thought she was following a healthy eating pattern. She walked daily, abstained from alcohol entirely, and avoided blatant junk food. Nevertheless, her blood pressure readings remained stubbornly around 145/90 on most days. When we went through her usual daily meals together in detail, a few subtle patterns emerged. She used 2 tablespoons of creamy salad dressing on her lunch salad, ate a frozen prepared meal about 3 times per week, and included a small portion of pickles nearly every day. Individually, none of those choices seemed significant, but collectively they were quietly pushing her numbers higher. After committing to the fresh protocol for only 4 weeks, Mary's blood pressure improved to a healthier 124/78. The swelling in her ankles visibly reduced, and she described feeling lighter, noticeably more energetic, and generally much improved overall. Then there was James, 72 years old, who loved his sandwiches and was very consistent with both his medication and his regular walking routine. Still, his readings were edging toward 150/88. In his situation, the concealed contributors included daily fruit juice, packaged crackers for snacks, and the occasional frozen dinner. Following 6 weeks on the fresh protocol, his blood pressure fell to 128/76. He shared that, for the first time in years, he felt genuinely empowered. He had learned to read food labels with greater care, apply smarter portion control, and implement easy, practical substitutions. These authentic stories underscore a vital principle. Modest, steady adjustments truly can produce tangible, significant improvements, even after extended periods of frustration and difficulty. The FRESH protocol centers on 5 clear and achievable steps. The first step is habitual awareness. This involves intentionally tracking your meals, snacks, and drinks for a period of time. As you do so, patterns become visible, and you begin to identify which specific foods are subtly elevating your blood pressure. Interestingly, the act of developing this awareness by itself frequently initiates positive shifts naturally. The second step is mindful portion control. Even foods that are broadly viewed as healthy can overwhelm your system when portions become excessive. A practical tool for this is the basic plate method. Dedicate half your plate to vegetables, 1/4 to lean protein, and 1/4 to complex carbohydrates. In a UCLA study, individuals who adopted mindful portion control experienced an average systolic blood pressure reduction of 70 dBnRK within just 1 month. The third step focuses on hydration and heart-friendly beverages. This means replacing fruit juices, sweetened teas, and flavored waters with plain water, unsweetened herbal teas, or simple infused water using slices of lemon, cucumber, or fresh berries. Maintaining steady, good hydration helps minimize fluid fluctuations that place unnecessary stress on your blood vessels and kidneys. The fourth step is reducing refined carbohydrates and added sugars. Replace white bread, pastries, and sugary beverages with whole grains, fresh berries, and legumes. When you do include carbohydrates, pair them with protein or fiber sources to moderate the speed at which they enter your bloodstream. Harvard research demonstrated that substituting just 2 servings of refined carbs with whole grain options daily led to an average systolic blood pressure drop of 6 mmHg over 12 weeks. The fifth step is sodium awareness. Make a deliberate choice to prioritize fresh ingredients and season your meals with herbs, citrus, spices, garlic, or similar natural flavorings rather than depending on prepackaged sauces and seasoning blends. The American Heart Association specifically advises most older adults to target no more than 1,500 mg of sodium per day, though regrettably many exceed 3,000 mg daily due to hidden sources. The encouraging part is that these gentle modifications frequently begin delivering noticeable benefits quite soon. In the initial week, a large number of people observe less bloating, a slight reduction in ankle swelling, and a heightened sense of where sodium lurks in their eating habits. By the second week, blood pressure typically starts moving in a downward direction, and meals begin to feel more satisfying and well-balanced. During weeks 3 and 4, the gains become more concrete. Systolic readings often decrease by 5 to 10 mmHg, and individuals frequently mention distinctly higher energy throughout their days. In the longer run, your arteries can slowly recover a degree of their original flexibility. Your heart works with somewhat less effort, and these positive habits grow easier and more automatic. Please keep in mind that this protocol is meant to complement, not replace, professional medical care. You should never discontinue any prescribed medications without first consulting and receiving approval from your doctor. If you live with conditions such as kidney disease, heart failure, or diabetes, it's particularly critical to speak with your physician before making substantial adjustments to sodium or fluid intake. Aim always for gradual progress instead of attempting to overhaul everything simultaneously. This approach helps avoid burnout and increases the likelihood that the changes will last. Concentrate on just one habit at a time to start. You can further support your success by modifying your home surroundings. Place healthy options like fresh fruit, pre-cut vegetables, and unsalted nuts in visible, easy-to-reach spots, while relocating high-sodium and high-sugar items to less convenient locations. Embrace mindful eating practices by eliminating distractions such as television or phones, truly savoring the flavors and textures of what you're eating, and staying attentive to portion sizes. Adequate hydration goes beyond simply satisfying thirst. It promotes healthy kidney performance, maintains proper electrolyte levels, and can enhance the effectiveness of your medications. Another essential component is stress management. Setting aside even 5 minutes twice daily for deep breathing, gentle stretching, or a brief walk can reduce stress hormones and relieve pressure on your arteries. Monitoring your progress using a dependable home blood pressure monitor offers valuable immediate feedback. It enables you to observe firsthand which particular habits deliver the greatest positive results for your unique body. Navigating social events and dining out can pose difficulties, but thoughtful preparation makes a big difference. Review restaurant menus in advance whenever feasible, ask for sauces or dressings on the side, and plan lighter meals earlier in the day to create balance. Involving family members or caregivers in the journey provides additional encouragement and support. Consistent, moderate exercise, activities such as walking, chair yoga, or light resistance training enhances circulation, decreases arterial stiffness, and fortifies your heart muscle. Consistency matters far more than intensity for sustained benefits. These lifestyle habits also tend to amplify the effectiveness of your prescribed medications, establishing a beneficial synergy between diet and medical treatment. I suggest carving out just 5 minutes each Sunday to reflect on your meals, beverages, snacks, and activities from the previous week. Make notes about which habits appeared to support lower blood pressure and which ones served as hidden triggers. Among the most commonly missed foods are processed meats, canned soups, store-bought salad dressings, frozen dinners, pickled items, refined carbohydrates, sugary beverages, various cheeses, alcohol, and standard restaurant fare. Give extra attention to those that recur most often in your personal routine. Small, ongoing adjustments truly generate a strong ripple effect. Your arteries will appreciate it over the long term. Sharing your objectives with a trusted friend or family member adds helpful accountability, while acknowledging and celebrating even minor successes reinforces the momentum of change. Ultimately, every meal, every snack, and every beverage you select either contributes a small amount of strain to your system or helps alleviate it. Choosing heart-friendly options consistently helps reestablish natural equilibrium, enhances arterial flexibility, stabilizes blood pressure, and frequently delivers an uplifting increase in everyday energy. Even relatively modest, repeated changes can yield clear, measurable progress in a matter of weeks rather than requiring years. Remember that high-quality sleep and effective stress reduction are also vital elements. Ongoing stress and inadequate sleep can elevate blood pressure independently of dietary factors. Combining mindful eating with gradual, steady adjustments leads to enduring improvements without ever feeling excessively limiting or harsh. Select just one component of the FRESH protocol to launch with, perhaps better hydration, a single smart food substitution, or more mindful eating, and commit to it faithfully. Continue monitoring your meals, beverages, and blood pressure readings. After 30 days, pause to evaluate your progress, celebrate the gains you've achieved, and then thoughtfully introduce the next habit. Your heart and arteries have faithfully supported you through many decades of life. Small, consistent changes, not perfection, are what enable your body to recover, restore its natural flexibility, and maintain more stable blood pressure levels. Stand up one more time. Pay attention once again to how your legs feel, how your balance adapts, and how your heart rate reacts. Most individuals never take a moment to reflect on the subtle yet profound ways daily foods influence blood pressure. One significant culprit might be right there in your kitchen. Awareness, followed by steady action and genuine commitment, can genuinely produce measurable improvements, even after years of feeling trapped and discouraged. Dedicate those 5 minutes every Sunday to reviewing your meals, beverages, snacks, and activities. Concentrate particularly on the items you consume most regularly. Sharing your goals with a friend fosters accountability, and celebrating your victories, whether large or small, helps sustain forward progress. Every meal, snack, and drink either adds strain or helps relieve it. Consistent, heart-supportive choices restore balance, improve flexibility, stabilize blood pressure, and boost energy. Even modest, repeated adjustments can bring noticeable improvements in weeks instead of years. Sleep and stress management remain crucial since they affect blood pressure separately from diet. Choose one single element, hydration, a simple swap, or mindful eating, and stick with it consistently. Track your meals, beverages, and blood pressure values. At the 30-day mark, review your results, celebrate your achievements, and gradually incorporate the next step. Your heart and arteries have carried you through countless experiences across the decades. Small, steady changes, not extreme or flawless ones, are what allow your body to heal, regain its inherent flexibility, and achieve effective blood pressure stability. If you've stayed with me all the way through, please type "Fresh Start" in the comments. Share the one habit you plan to begin with today, and feel free to return after 30 days to update us on your progress. Your experience could truly motivate and assist someone else who is quietly facing similar challenges and wondering why their readings refuse to improve despite sincere efforts. Swap out white bread, pastries, cakes, cookies, sugary cereals, and sweetened drinks in favor of whole grains such as oats, barley, brown rice, whole wheat pasta, fresh or frozen berries, and legumes. Whenever you include carbs, combine them with protein or fiber to moderate the blood sugar response. Harvard findings indicated that replacing just 2 daily servings of refined carbs with whole grain choices reduced systolic pressure by roughly 6 micrometers across 12 weeks. Manage sodium thoughtfully. Opt for fresh, whole ingredients as often as you can. Enhance flavors generously using herbs like basil, oregano, thyme, and rosemary. Spices such as turmeric, cumin, and paprika, along with garlic, onion, citrus zest, vinegar, and black pepper, instead of depending on bottled sauces, seasoning packets, or excess salt. The American Heart Association recommends that most adults over 50, particularly those managing hypertension, limit sodium to no more than 1,500 milliliters daily. Unfortunately, average consumption in many groups surpasses 3,000 milliliters due to concealed sources. Encouraging changes often appear within days. The first week commonly features reduced bloating, mildly decreased swelling in ankles or fingers, and an emerging awareness of sodium's hiding places. By week 2, blood pressure generally begins trending lower, and meals feel more satisfying than restrictive. Weeks 3 and 4 often produce clear, quantifiable advances. Systolic readings typically fall 5 to 10 mmHg with noticeable energy gains. Over months, advantages accumulate. Arteries regain some suppleness, the heart operates more efficiently, and the habits become second nature rather than forced. A few vital reminders. This protocol supports medical treatment. It does not replace it. Never stop prescribed blood pressure medication or other drugs without your doctor's clear approval. If you have kidney disease, congestive heart failure, diabetes, or fluid restrictions, consult your physician before major sodium or fluid changes. Proceed gradually. Focus on one step initially to avoid feeling overwhelmed. Arrange your kitchen to encourage success. Position cut vegetables, fresh fruit, unsalted nuts, and plain yogurt prominently on counters or at eye level in the refrigerator. Relocate chips, cookies, salty snacks, and sugary drinks to harder-to-reach areas. Engage in genuine, mindful eating. Sit at a table free from TV or phone distractions. Savor flavors, textures, and satisfaction. Stop eating when comfortably full. Hydration aids kidney function, electrolyte equilibrium, and medication performance. Short stress relief sessions matter. 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing or gentle stretching twice daily can tangibly lower stress hormones and reduce arterial tension. Rely on a validated upper arm home blood pressure monitor and log readings at consistent times. The records will reveal which adjustments yield the most benefit for you. Dining out or social gatherings can present hurdles, but advanced preparation helps greatly. Preview menus online when possible. Ask for dressings, sauces, and gravies on the side. Select grilled, baked, or steamed dishes over fried ones. Plan lighter, earlier meals if anticipating a heavier dinner. Involve a spouse, adult child, or close friend for encouragement and soft accountability. Regular movement is essential. Target moderate activities you enjoy and can maintain. Brisk walking, water aerobics, chair yoga, light resistance bands, or gardening. Your heart and arteries have supported you through decades of experiences. Small, steady changes, not drastic or perfect ones, are what give your body the chance to recover, restore its natural flexibility, and stabilize blood pressure effectively. If you've made it all the way to the end of this, please type "Fresh Start" in the comments. Share the one habit you're going to begin with today and come back after 30 days to let us know how things are going. Your story really could inspire and help someone else who's quietly struggling and wondering why their numbers aren't budging despite their best efforts. Progress doesn't come from dramatic, all-or-nothing overhauls. It comes from awareness, consistent daily action, and quiet dedication. I'm Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video with more practical, evidence-based strategies to help keep your heart and body strong and thriving for years to come.